Okay. Take it off.
I posted the link on. Are you on GroupMe?
He's just gonna come on barely. So.
Okay. Gotcha.
We'll hook you up.
It was nice meeting you. We'll see you around.
We'll be here Friday night, by the way. We're free Friday night. Good training. Thank you. You got it.
Just start talking, though.
Huh?
I said just start talking.
Y'all want to move up? Y'all want to move up? Come on down. No one bite. For real. Come on down. Come on down. You talk music. All right, yo. Watching the music real quick. Man.
You don't want Black Eyed Peas to be background?
Not right now. Under master, yeah, the master switch. Just go all the way down. There you go. All right. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing? Oh, that was weak. How's everybody doing? All right, I feel a little bit energy now. That's good. So, Carlos is not here, obviously, and he asked us to help out with the off night, which I am always privileged. And I know last week it was an honor and it was an opportunity for him to speak. And I love doing off nights. Let me tell you, I've been with the company for a while, and for years and years, that's what I do every Thursday night in El Paso. Is been running an off night. And sometimes we'd have guests, and sometimes it was only a few people. But we always stayed with the mindset we got to keep growing.
Right.
And sometimes when you're newer, it may not be growing as fast as you want it to. And let me give you an example. My first year when I was living in Austin, I started with Primerica. I didn't really have anybody showing up. As a matter of fact, I would show up to an off night. I would plug in, but I didn't have anybody. How many guys relate?
Yeah.
You invite maybe 2-3 people, and they say, I'll try to make it, and they don't show up. And so I learned pretty quick that trying is lying. Yes or no? Thank you very much. Awesome. So when I hear the word try, that's just a nice way of people saying I ain't going to make it. Would you agree?
Yeah.
How many guys feel people lie?
Oh, yeah.
But here's the truth. We're in the people business. I was listening to an audio from the great Bobby Buisson. Anybody heard of him?
Oh, yeah.
He's kind of one of the founders of the company. He is probably the second highest paid guy in the company right now. He's like $4 million a year. Ranks in like $300,000-$400,000 a month.
He's the highest paid overall.
Overall, he's the highest paid. He's got a lot of investments, a lot of stock, and super wealthy guy. But he's very direct and he's very honest. And he kind of keeps talking. He goes, you know, the magic of Primerica is you got to go talk to more people.
Right.
And how do you get good at talking to people? To go talk to more people.
Right.
How do you get good at it? Go talk to more people.
Right.
And how many of you guys know that that's true?
Absolutely.
Right? Now, here's the fact. You want to know what to say. It helps. But here's the truth. You can never say the right thing to the wrong people.
Right.
You can never say the wrong thing to the right people. So if somebody's open-minded looking to change your life or change your family situation, it don't matter. The person that recruited Tanya Poe, he met her actually at a Target, right?
Yeah.
So he met her at a Target parking lot, and she was looking the other direction, like putting stuff in her car, and he says, hey, you look pretty sharp. You look pretty sharp. Are you keeping your options open to more money? And she was just going through a situation where the timing was right.
Right.
And some of y'all, the timing is going to be right a lot of times if you open your mouth. Yes or no? So here's the facts though. Sometimes you might talk to, and in the mind, I talk to a lot of people. Well, how many is a lot to you? See, a lot of people sometimes think 5 is a lot. Well, if you're doing 0 every single day and you start talking to 5, I talked to 5 people and they all said no. But there's like 1 million people here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not everybody's that closed-minded. Now again, it helps what you say, right? Because your energy is contagious. And I want to spend a few minutes talking about this because here's the facts, y'all. We're part of One Team, One Dream Tornadoes, right?
Yeah.
And so we've been known to be loud and proud and excited and fired up from within. Now, I'm not saying fake it till you make it or it's faith it till you make it, right? You gotta have a lot of faith. I'm talking about something's gotta genuinely jack you up and get you fired up. Sometimes, see, some of y'all get excited about the Rule 72. That's awesome. Compound interest, making millions, right? It's awesome. Some of y'all get excited about life insurance. That's awesome. That's great. I mean, that's you. That's great. It does make a big difference in people's lives when you help people. Okay. Some people get out of debt. Some of you guys excited about the mortgages that are coming back. Some of you guys are Vivint, right? Some of you guys are excited about I don't know whatever trips your trip, whatever gets you fired up. All I know is that when I started, I got excited about the opportunity. I don't even remember Lucio back in the day. My first op night, let me just kind of give you an example. My first op night, there was this guy, he was next to me, and I remember I showed up and everybody was excited. When I walked in the door, people went up to me like, hey, how are you? How you doing? I was like, I'm good. How are you? And they're like, good. Who are you here with tonight? I was like, my wife. And they're like, no, but like, who invited you? And I couldn't remember Robert's name, Robert Bella, and it was my cousin John. Anyway, they invited us, and I was like, yeah, I think it's my cousin, but he's not here. Who else? It was Robert Bella or something, and they're like, oh, okay, well, just grab a seat. And then like 3 other people, hi, how you doing? Howard, are you from around here? Oh, what are you? I was like, wow. They just made me feel comfortable. Does that make sense? It's kind of weird, but it was exciting. Does that make sense? Yeah. And I remember I was sitting like the first row or whatever, and I had the long hair, right? Like Carlos talks about, it was, super long. It wasn't that long. It was like midnight. And it was shaved. I really didn't care how I looked. I mean, I was kind of, I was in the Austin mood or whatever. Where like, you dress however you feel comfortable. Didn't care if I had long hair, looked like a hippie. I didn't care. Baggy jeans, you could fit 3 legs in them. You know what I'm saying? It was really non-professional at all. Okay? And I was sitting in the front row like, who cares? I'm here just because they invited me like 5 times. You know what I'm saying? And we were clients already, but by the way, okay, might even talked about it. But it made sense when Robert kept inviting us, and we kept not standing him up on purpose, but we had other important things in our mind, like watching Seinfeld back then. But see, some people are gonna lie to you and not show up because they got things that are important to them in their own mind, and so you can't just let that get you down. You just got to remind them and get people, hold people accountable to their word. But so Robert, he kept inviting us, and we felt bad about standing him up again and again. So we finally showed up. But I remember the first dadgum op night we were sitting there, and we were in the front row, and there was a guy next to us to my right, I think it was, and my was to my left, and he was like sitting, and he was at the end. Let me show you how. This is crazy. Like this guy. He was like at the edge of his seat, like this, like he was gonna jump off, and I was like, this guy, it was Derek Sparks, remember Derek Sparks? But his eyes were bulging, like, and I told him, I said, oh my God, he's on crack or cocaine or something. He's too excited, because he kept like this, he was like his veins. So during the op night, he was like, that's right, like that's right, and he was excited. But he was really excited. Later on, I found out he wasn't on drugs. He was just really excited. But that energy was contagious.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Yes. And I know there's a proper time for everybody to be quiet. And, right, let's all be proper. But when you're building a business, you're building a movement, it's okay to get fired up.
Right.
Because we're getting fired up about your life. And some people get fired up about a game, yes or no? Football game around the Cowboys or whatever your team is, whatever you guys haters, whatever. Here's the deal. Y'all,
go Vikings.
You get excited about something. Something gets you excited. You got kids, you get jacked up about your kid. Even if they're running the wrong direction, and you know what I'm saying? You're like, go, but the other, you know what I'm saying? You're getting excited about your kid or something. And maybe life hasn't been fair this year. Or maybe in the past 10, or maybe this is like your choice to make a difference in your life, because unfortunately a lot of people, they go through stuff, yes or no? But it's one thing to go through it, it's one thing to grow through it. And so you got to grow forward, lean forward, move forward, and don't let anything or anybody stop you. I believe too many of us have been challenged, yes or no? But a winner gets back up, right? I mean, really, honestly, it's not a matter of how many times you get hit, but it's about how many times you get back up. Because it's one thing to get back up and be all bitter, right? Like, I'm okay, but I'm done. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing, or be like, dang, I'm fired up. Right. And again, I understand that most people are not going to join. I realize that. And that's why it doesn't bother me when I invite somebody and they don't show up. But I'm here. And you're here.
Right.
So let's create an environment. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And not to kind of go there, but I'm just going to mention, if I was talking to my base shop, right, and I'm looking at growing, it's like, what time are we starting? And sometimes, like in El Paso, we tell people, we start at 7. We really don't start till 7:30.
Oh, because you know.
But we tell them 7 so they can casually be late. Because they still show up 7:15-ish. Now we understand life is going on, and like my wife, she's picking up my daughter in Buda and then driving all the way to, I mean, she's right, so we understand that situation. But if you're the leader, it helps for you to be on time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And what I'm talking about on time is like be part of the environment.
Right.
Like creating the environment. Like high-fiving and just being jacked up. Does that make sense?
Right.
I'm not trying to preach or nothing like that. I'm just saying, I
Good.
think we're in a position where we can dominate, because I remember coming to off nights where there was 150, 200 people standing room only. People are so excited, and people were complaining that it was too hot, but that's a good feeling
Right.
versus complaining that their guest wasn't there. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
So anyway, I'm just sharing that because I believe energy is contagious, and all of us have certain energy that we transmute or I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but you know what I'm saying, right? Exude. There you go. It's your energy, right? How many guys ever seen somebody that's just genuinely like Carlos? Okay, if you watch Carlos, like if you study Carlos, like Carlos turns it on. He just turns it on, and when he's on, he's on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I studied him, and I was like, wow, he's got it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so when I studied him, I kind of try to do that. Now, you got to be you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not him or whatever. But I tend to kind of get a little excited about my life, and I can share with you something that can maybe potentially change your life.
Right.
And I hope you get it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You don't have to be that standing on top of your chair, but it helps. It helps to just be excited, because Art Williams, the founder, multi-billionaire, he said 50% of winning is being excited.
Right.
Being excited. It's like, what isn't it? Showing up? Yeah, showing up is that, but you gotta be excited when you show up.
Right.
Because nobody wants to follow a dull, disillusioned, frustrated, dadgum crybaby. Think about that. Dull, like a pencil that's dull. You ever try to write with a pencil that's dull? It's like, oh,
It's the
you're
worst.
trying to like, right? Trying to get it sharp or whatever. Disillusion is like people that say, I'm going to change the world. I'm going to be the #1 in Austin, and they don't even show up. You know what I'm saying? You have some people on your team that, right? Oh yeah, I'm going to win. I remember there was somebody that texted my wife a couple of weeks ago. It's like, man, we're going to dominate. We're going to be #1. And they don't show up for nothing. It's like, what happened? And y'all have life happening.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is the only thing, but let me ask you a question. If this was the only thing that can guarantee you success, if it was, how much effort would you give to this? Like if you knew at the end of the story, if we fast forward your life in the year 2026, right? If in 8 years from now, right, we're looking at October the 2nd, 2026. And what if you look at, you can see like a picture or whatever, some of you guys have Instagrams and Facebook and all kind of, right, Snapchat. What if you could see your future?
Right.
What if that you can actually see it, like every goal, every dream, everything that you've accomplished, you're just like, dang, you're winning, you're excited, things are awesome, and you're just living it up. Like you're looking at the house, you're looking at the cars, you're looking at the lifestyle, you're looking at the way that you look, you're in shape, maybe, you know what I'm saying? You look good. You're like, dang, that's me in the future. And what if you were looking in the past like, dang, well, you got to get to, you know what I'm saying?
Nah.
You got to get things going. Because your time is clicking. And I'm talking to myself too. And that's kind of, we got uncomfortable to move in a new city where we ain't know a lot of people. I know the ones that we do have, right, they're already in the business, right? So Richard's already here. So, but a lot of people, they're just not. And so we're learning and we're growing forward. But I'm talking about your vision for your future, because without vision, people perish. Yes or no?
Right.
So I think we got to have a mindset shift, and we're going to start winning at a higher level. All of us, right? Because you got 90 days left, 89 days left for the end of the year.
Yeah.
Time is clicking into the future. So here's the deal. So how are you going to close this year, right? And we got to create the environment. And by the way, it doesn't start Tuesday afternoon, okay? Really, it starts like tonight, tomorrow. What are you doing Wednesday? What are you doing Thursday? When you invite people, what are you saying to them? It's kind of like, hey, so we got this meeting going on. You think you can make it, Monica? I mean, it's going to be very interesting. You should really try your best to be there, Lucy. I mean, it's going to really be very educational. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and it is. Yes or no? You can get an education, right? It is interesting, right? You gotta let it out. You know what I'm saying? It's called childlike enthusiasm, right? And I remember going back to my first op night, right? So that dude was super fired up, he's super excited. And the op night, what I remember listening to a speaker. It was 3 different speakers. It was Isaac Posos, alongside this guy. He had like super baggy, like he was wearing his dad's clothes. You know what I'm talking about? Like they were nice, but they were extra baggy and big. And you know what I'm saying? Because he's kind of anyway. So it was very big. And he was talking. You know, he was just like, man, I just made $1,000 last week, and I work at a pizza place, and I made 1,000. I was like, he made $1,000 like that. It excited me. I was like, whoa. And then Ricardo Luna spoke. I remember that guy. He was like talking with the list, like, right? Come on, guys. Remember that? But he was excited.
Right.
He said, man. He says, I used to be a teacher, and I was gonna be a teacher. And the contract I just got promoted to RVP, I'm gonna make $100,000 a year. I was like, dang, if that guy could do it, and that guy could do it, oh my gosh. We got excited. And the room, and the crazy Derek was like, oh man, he's fired up. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is about to go down. You know what I mean? Like it was crazy. It was just crazy, but it was exciting. And at the end of the meeting, Carlos closed it out. I was like, he's like Superman. He flew in or something. He like walked in, but he was just excited. He was fired up. He was like, man, you want to win or not? Let's go, man. I was like, dang, he's talking to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you know I was here? You know, because like, man, he's looking at me. But I didn't know. He wanted me not to do it. You know what I'm saying? But it's because my hair was super long. I didn't care. I was like, if they want me to cut my hair, I'll do it. I don't care. I want to win. I just want to be somebody. How many of you guys want to be somebody?
Yeah.
I mean, I know you guys want to be somebody, and you're somebody to your family, right? Your daughters and sons, and right, your parents, and you're somebody. It should be cool for you to be somebody in Primerica too. Right. So when you walk in a room, people will be like, "Oh my gosh, that's Lucio Guerrero right there. Oh, let's get his autograph." You know what I'm saying? Like, that may not drive you, but I don't know. That fires me up when I hear stuff like that. I was like, "That's cool." Like, you know what I'm saying? But that don't happen when you're district division.
Right.
Unless you're killing it in the base shop, like doing big numbers, 100 by 100. But my point is, you don't have to strive for that. That's not what you want. But I'm just saying, there's something that gets you excited. Whatever it is, you got to find it, and you got to hold on to it, and you got to run with it. So Carlos has taught a lot about skills and questions, and I've learned a lot, and I still learn a lot. And I'm not going to go into all that right now, but I am going to talk about, and on Friday, by the way, I'm going to have some great training, some fundamentals I'm going to teach on too. He asked me to help him, and I'm definitely privileged to train on on recruiting. It's all going to be about recruiting, how to recruit. I remember in El Paso, we were hitting about 50 recruits a month, and we actually became the number 2 recruiters in the whole state of Texas. It was Carlos number 1, and we were number 2. It was crazy.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, when you're on it and you're excited and you have momentum, it's awesome. But when you focus on the wrong things, everything else starts to, you know what I'm saying? Some of us, we focus on life. Yes or no? Now you gotta, I mean, don't go, I gotta ignore my kids. I'm not saying ignore your kids. I'm saying, right? You got your priorities. But isn't it crazy how there's people that are winning big in Primerica and they got kids too?
Yeah.
Or they got issues? They got people that are sick or dying in their lives, but they're winning. It's like, whoa, what happened? It's called mental toughness. And that's something that's maybe, I don't know, and I'm sharing this with you because I remember like 2 or 3 weeks into me joining, I was at an op night, and there was that dude still right there, super fired up, and it was a room full of people. There's about 100 people in the room, and I didn't know that all those people were associates. I thought they were new guests. But Carlos is like, man, I wish you could get my passion. I wish you could be more excited. I wish you could be more, and I was thinking like, dang, what happened? You know, but it's because he wanted to win, and he wanted everybody to start winning. And then almost everybody in the room, see what I noticed, when people get paid, that's a good thing, yes or no?
Right.
I used to watch, and I see Luso get paid, and I see that guy get paid. I didn't see people get paid, and I was like, when am I going to get paid? You know what I mean? And I didn't have my license yet, but then they talked about recruiting. My biggest mistake was my first 2 years, I never understood. I was a pretty good F&A giver. You know what I'm saying? You do your analysis. And then I would show them, and they'd be like, all right, let me think about it. I was like, all right, you let me know when you're ready. I was good at giving F&As, you know what I'm saying? Didn't make no money for the first, but I started to get better at closing. Does that make sense? And it works. This business works, but I was not a recruiter in the beginning, and not until I flipped the switch, then I started realizing recruiters make the biggest money.
Right.
The recruiters have all the goodies, and recruiters have the biggest team. So again, we're going to drill on that, and we're going to really get those fundamentals down. But what I'm getting at is that sometimes you got to get out of your situation mentally, and you got to start looking at where you want to be, especially at the end of the year. See, we're tornadoes, yes or no?
Yes,
And in 1 year from now, we're going to be done with the convention.
Right.
It would be awesome knowing that you played a role, whatever role you played, at the $1 million ring being in Austin. You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
How would it feel knowing y'all stepped up and you grew your income? Because it's crazy to think how the more money that you make, the more money Carlos makes too.
Yes.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
And so we know we want to make more so we can help our coach make more.
Right.
It's win-win.
Right.
It's not one of those things. It's pushing up people. Does that make sense?
Right.
So bottom line is, energy is contagious. Is yours worth catching, right? You gotta really light yourself up sometimes. And again, I understand that at times in your life and in my life, it's not there. Everything's going on, and it doesn't look like there's nothing to be excited about. Y'all know what I'm saying? But let me tell you something. Have you ever been frustrated?
Yeah.
Frustrated.
Yeah.
Frustrated, right? Frustrated. The F word, right?
Sitting
Frustrated,
in traffic.
right? Frustrated in traffic. The dadgum traffic. Oh my gosh. I mean, you guys know where the Y is, the 290 and 71 split. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
That sucker is always packed. It's like, I figured out some roads to take around it, but still. Hey, here's the bottom line. You can get frustrated and fired up. Right? And replace the word frustrated with the word excited.
Right.
So instead of saying, I am frustrated, just say, I'm excited. Start using that verbiage. Because now your mind, see, because your words speak power into existence. They speak life. I mean, honestly. And when you say things like, I'm frustrated, I'm mad. I mean, it's one thing to get mad and do something about it. But it's one thing to be frustrated and do nothing about it. And you know what I'm saying? So we got to take our words and use them more wiser, okay? So anyway, really quick, and I'm just going to share these last things real quick. I think, honestly, when you have new people, you got to make sure that you're here, you're plugging in, and you let them know showing up is critical to their success. Because by them not showing up, they're unplugged. Last time I checked, if you have power on your phone, it works.
Right.
But when the battery's at 0, you cannot use it for nothing. No Facebook, no nothing. It's just blank. It's like,
It's dead.
right? No text, nothing. No GPS. How many of you guys ever lost your battery? Not lost the battery, but you know what I'm saying, right? Your phone died.
Yep.
You excited, huh? I am so excited. Right? My phone don't work. How many guys, right? But what do? You plug it in. Yes or no? 50, 90, whatever, right? That's a good thing. That's you plugging the power source.
Right.
Every Friday night. And I know Carlos talked about it the other day. We were talking the other day. But he said, op nights are critical. You got to plug in every op night. And you make sure you bring somebody. I think if you're a player, if you want to go to the next level, and really this is geared towards those of you that say, you know what, I want to start winning. And make sure 7 days from now you have a guest.
Right.
You know how to get a guest? By inviting people. But if you just invite one person, ain't going to show. If you invite 2 people, they're not going to show. If you invite 9 and they all promise you they're going to show, you might not even have none. But if you invite 10, the magic number is 10, you should have 3 show up at least. Those are the numbers. But I'm talking about a confirmed invite. Like, hey, is there anything you can't get out of next Tuesday night at 7? Is there anything you can't rearrange next Tuesday night at 7? And again, it's not what you say, but it's how you say it. I'm not saying all rude, but is there anything you got, you know what I'm saying? Not rude, not mean, but with a positive, energetic attitude. Y'all know what I'm saying? But here's the truth. By you consistently, and I'm challenging all of you, now want to be big, okay? If you don't want to be big, please don't pay attention. Just do whatever you want. But if you want to be big, and you want this year to be the record-breaking year that you're going forward, check this out. What if from this point forward, every Tuesday night and Thursday night, right, Jacob? Right, Zach? Every Tuesday and Thursday night from now forward, you make sure you have at least one guest, minimum. Right. Minimum. Right. Like every single week, you build up to it. Right. What if you make the commitment to you and your coach, whoever that is? Like that, I'm going to have a guest no matter what. And make sure that you do it. What's that going to do by the end of the year? That means that every single week, you got new people showing up. And there's something energetic about you having a new person there, yes or no? Right. And like, dang, it's the room is, the jokes are funnier, and the people are excited. I mean, everything is better when you have a guest. Yeah. Right. When you ain't got a guest, you're like, dang, is it almost over? Right? Again with the story, right? The rule of 72, I already know that, right? But when you're excited, and by the way, if you ain't got a guest, that doesn't mean it's over. Right. That just means you have a chance to restart. Right? But again, I'm just saying, what if you come in? I'm challenging you guys, Austin Bay Shop, step it up. Right. There you go. Make sure you have a guest every Tuesday night. I'm talking to me too. Brand new guest moving forward. So I'm throwing myself over here in front of the bus or whatever you want to call it. Lupe, where's your guest? Right? I know some of you guys are, it's all good. I love it. It's all good. Because here's the truth. There's other hierarchies, there's other teams, and they think that this team in Austin is good. They don't consider competition. They're just like, oh, that was cute. But I want them to know, dang, that tornado was killing everybody. You know what I'm saying? Not in a mean way, but you know what I'm saying, right? Like taking them out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not literally, but you know what I'm saying, right? In California, they take them, right? Take them out. No. But I'm saying, let's have fun. Y'all with me?
Yeah.
So anyway, y'all have any questions for me right quick? Yes, Lucio.
Voice of our question is really a comment. I'm sure all of us are serious about our business, and remember, we have to take ownership. And when we're supposed to start about 7:30, maybe 7:25.
Right. If
you can all do us a favor, yeah, don't let us remind you. Hey, let's get. We should be in the seat by 7:30,
right.
So, and because that's showtime.
Right.
Okay. I mean, imagine you're going to go see the NFL football players play. Do you think they're over there in the locker room? No, they're in the stadium. Right. This is the stadium. This is showtime. So, like I said, if you're serious about, it's basically taking ownership. Right. Sometimes you're running late, and I understand. Right. But we need to be here, ready to go, showtime by 7:30.
It's part of creating the environment.
Yeah, because that's
creating the vibe.
You want to send the right message to your new guests, okay? That you're serious, and so yeah. Absolutely. Do us a favor. Let's get started by 7:30. That way we can start at 7:30, and we can go home earlier. We don't have to be here like about 11 o'clock.
Gotcha.
Okay?
I have a question. Do you have a minimum number of calls or of conversations a day? Do you because that's a different thing. You call 10 numbers or you have 10 conversations, a different thing. That's why I'm asking. Do you have a number like that?
So she asked if obviously there's a minimum number of contacts, and just kind of me challenging part-timers. If you're part-time in the room, you're like, you know what, I have another job, right? I have another career, I have another whatever. I would challenge you to have 10 contacts per day. So like we said, if you're part-time, have 10 contacts per day. Meaning you physically on the phone or somehow, some way communicated with 10 people per day. Preferably new people. Yep. Preferably brand new people. Now sometimes because you're prospecting and meeting people and you're following up as well, because you don't want to forget the ones that you talked to 2 days ago. Right. So you got to make time to follow up. But if you're part-time, 10, I would recommend at least 10 conversations, because you can leave messages all day long and nothing happens. I've done that before. I played that game.
Yeah.
And I left messages, and I'll get a call back. Maybe out of 20, one or two call me back. And so I feel like, woo, I got a call back, right? But that was like 2 conversations.
Right.
After 20 calls, but again, if you're dealing in the colder market, right? So it depends on what market you're in, but really, honestly, 10 contacts I think is a solid number. If I was part-time and then full-time, I would say 25
Right.
per day. If you're full-time, 25. What were you gonna say? Sorry.
The next question you brought up, do you advise us to leave a message when we call?
So here's my.
Or should we try a couple of times and then leave a message? Because it will show up to my many times.
That's a good question, and that's really up to you. Here's my, this is what and I'll just give you an example. If I called Richard Hidrogo, let's say I got his contact from Vicente, and Vicente said, hey, here's a couple of people that are interested, and I call Richard, I say, hi, this message is for Richard Hidrogo, my name is Lupe Infante, I'm a local business owner in charge of expansion, and you can call me back at 915, give me a call back, I'm looking forward to talking. Now, I already know he's probably going to hear it or not. It doesn't matter because I left him a message. But I make a note that I called him and left a message. So I'm not going to keep calling and leave another message and another message. I already left him 1, maybe 2, and then that's it. I might call him again, but not leave any more messages because that gets a little bit
And with friends?
too much.
Or with people that you know?
So with friends, I would
Or
be
people
honest
that you
with
know.
them. Yeah, I would let them know. If they don't answer, first I would leave a message. Hey, how you doing, Vicente? It's me, your primo. Listen, I wanted to follow up with you, get together. When are you free? Give me a call. And if you don't call me, I'm gonna shoot him a text. And then a call.
Okay.
And if he dodges me, I might end up using my wife's phone to call him or something.
Right,
Because
right.
it's my family, you know what I'm saying?
Right. And
He's
the last
family.
one would be the people that you meet on the street.
So that's cold.
That's you meet on the
Oh.
street, they
Right.
gave you your number.
Same thing.
You eventually gave them the business card, so they have some idea about you. You call and leave a lot of messages, or?
Just 1 or 2, that's it. Like I have a bunch of those right now. Because I met a lot of different people and I'm following up with them, but they haven't answered. So one of them, they text me like, hey, who's this? I was like, I met you last week at Sam's or whatever. Give me a call if you're still interested in making more money. Oh, what is this about? I said, well, call me, we can talk. And then they haven't called me, so I might call them back, but it's just following up, and you gotta have a list. I love what Carlos did last week when he showed the little, you all know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He had like a tab with all these contacts. Some of y'all, right, some of us, we need to, right, better organization, because my God, I have it on my phone, but it's not as organized.
Right.
So, you're gonna say, Lucio?
Yes, I know you were asking about how many times you call. There's a gentleman, you familiar with MG Durkin?
Yeah, yeah.
He says to call him 5 times.
5 times.
You know, it's like,
Each voicemail's a different one.
it's Sam, I got your name, say, hey, Liana, this is Lucio, I met you at HEB, hey, give me a call. You don't have to give any dissertation, no
Extra,
presentation,
yeah.
just tell, hey, I met you there, you told me you were looking to make extra money. That's it. Maybe second time, hey, this is me, I don't know if you got my message, second time. Maybe third time today, you just be fun, hey, I think I'm getting a complex, I haven't heard from you, okay? You put a letter.
Right, have a little fun or whatever.
And then after the 5th time, just,
Okay, you
that's
know.
it, yeah.
Okay. No, I was just trying to get some.
Yeah, and that's probably somebody you don't know. But like what Lupe was saying about, if it's a friend, hey, stop by, you know where they live, just stop by. Hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
Stop by.
Some of y'all have people in your phone right now, and they're not your clients, and they're not your associates, but they are people that will probably have you come over for whatever. But when you talk about Primerica, they get a little weird. How many guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Right? So if you're honest with those folks, very simple, like, hey, how you doing, Vicente? Listen, man, I know that you're not interested, because he already told me he's not. I know you're not, but listen, man, I'm going for promotion by the end of the year, and I could really use your help. I just want to share with you what's new with the company, and maybe you can refer me to somebody who's interested. I just want to pop by for about 30 minutes. Can I just stop by real quick, today or tomorrow? Does that make sense?
I love how it rolls out of you.
It's practice.
It's like,
Practice,
you
practice,
know
practice.
better.
You know how I got good? By doing a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Telling
How do you
forward a
get,
lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
How do you get
Over
good
and
at talking
over.
to people? Talk to more people.
Yeah, you get good at doing it by practicing.
Yeah.
So on Friday night, be here, be ready to win, be ready to tear it up. It's
Friday,
gonna be
on
awesome.
Friday?
This Friday, we're gonna have some training here. It's gonna be phenomenal.
7:30 to 7.
Yeah.
7 o'clock.
What time do you normally start? 7?
7 to 9.
7.
7 to 10.
We'll start at 7. 6:30ish.
7.
Is there any other questions? By the way, I didn't mean to cut it. Y'all good?
Yeah.
Any other questions? So thank you guys.
What time do we start on Tuesday?
Tuesday night we start at